How's it going there, everybody? It's Mr. Zen over here bringing you guys a brand new Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussion. And for today's segment, guys, we're going to be doing 3 chapters for the price of 1 video. Yes, folks, my laziness really was going at it for these past couple weeks. But don't worry, guys, I'm going to get through these 3 chapters, as these chapters were actually becoming very entertaining, as we actually get to see the Goddess Clan in action. We get to see the 10 Commandments as something unfolds between them. There's just so much things that's been going on through these 3 from chapter 205 to 207 that it's basically, you know, giving us viewers a WTF look throughout the whole entire time. By the WTF, as you know, many of you kids know, you all know what that means. But the point is the fact that, you know, we're actually being kind of slowly teased as that there's more to it, to the demon clan themselves. There's more to it, to the goddess clan themselves, and also the embodiment of Elizabeth's character themselves. That, you know, all these 3 chapters, it's just nerve-wracking that you're constantly going like, oh my god, I have to wait. I have to wait till next week in order to keep watching or rereading these chapters in order to know what the heck Nakaba Sensei is trying to get us to know what his storyboard is actually going through. But honestly, I have to say that the story is very much entertaining. I'm loving the way it's going at it, and I'm loving that the way that this flashback arc, there's just more to it than it really seems. And I'm personally hoping that we get to see a little bit more on the terms of not necessarily MacLeod, but the side characters itself. That's what we're really here for, is the side characters. But let's get started, guys. First off, let's run through this really quickly, guys. So chapter 205 was the introduction of Sariel and Tarmiel. If I'm pronouncing these, guys, let me know if I'm pronouncing it wrong down in the comments below, guys. But from what I read, it's Sariel and Tarmiel, as these 2 heavenly goddesses are one of the 4 of the archangels themselves. Or so these 2 characters are very powerful in the sense that these characters, they came in very cocky in chapter 205. They're overwhelming Monspier, Galen, Fraudrin. You know, they even took out an Omega arc to just demolish the 10 Commandments army itself. You hear wondering like, Jesus H. Christ, what the heck is going on? You know, the Goddess Clan themselves, they really are on par with the 10 Commandments themselves, and it's very entertaining to see, you know, that the 10 Commandments are having a hard time, because usually throughout the whole entire Taizai universe, we were always wondering as to like, is there another clan that's really on par with it? And it just seems that the Goddess Clan members themselves, you know, they're no easy pickets. They really aren't. And I'm personally loving the way that they introduce these characters, because throughout the rest of the chapters, you guys are going to see what I'm talking about, because in chapter 205, it's that introduction as to that they're not necessarily pushovers themselves. But let's move on, guys, because from chapter 205, you know, at near the end of chapter 205, of course, Ludociel was explaining himself that, you know, of course, he's gonna join the battlefield and everything. But the thing about chapter 205 that was very entertaining at the end, folks, at the freaking end, is Gauther. Gauther. Yes, folks, Gauther. The reason I'm saying Gauther is because he really is the stepping stone through this Taizai universe. He's this enigmatic character that we won't know what he's going to be plotting against. We don't know if this is the arc where he's actually going to turn tables and change it to another side. We don't know that for sure. But one thing's for sure, he's controlling Narabasta, because Ludociel in this chapter was explaining to Narabasta that, you know, our main forces, of course, they're in the Goddess Clan realm. They're waiting just for a signal to come in through this like heavenly gate, you could say. And Gauther, of course, is in control of Narabasta herself, and Narabasta is in control of the gate right now. So it goes along to say that, what the heck? What are we waiting for? You know, like, Jesus Christ, like this arc is getting much more entertaining. There's, like I said, it's not a one-sided war now. It's becoming like all the clan members are really turning themselves into like this 3,000-year-old, like you could say, like freaking rage and grief that's going on. It's really becoming a, we're all thinking of, like, it's up there on par, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, it's up there, guys. It's freaking up there. But Gauther himself, I'm just wondering if he really is gonna infiltrate the Goddess Clan members, and maybe he's the one who is gonna change the minds out of every single goddess and actually seal them together with the demon clan members. Because the reason I'm hypothesizing, guys, is because of the fact that in chapter 206, I'm moving on, guys, because in chapter 206, of course, Ludociel enters the fray, and he starts taking care of the Ten Commandments themselves, and because of his speed, his ferocity. But the thing is, in chapter 206, they explain that Nerobasta, I believe, was explaining to Gauther that he sacrificed everything his whole life, and he was committed to actually taking care of the 10 Commandments. Now, that's actually entertaining, because what Gauther says, he said, oh, that's interesting, I know of a man who actually did the same thing. And we all know he's specifically talking about Meliodas. He's talking about Meliodas, folks. We all know that for sure. But the thing that I'm personally kind of entertained is the fact that Meliodas might be the trigger to tell Gauther, maybe you should, tell everybody to go home and rest easy. Like that in itself, guys, that in itself will be entertaining. But chat, like I said, chapter 206, Ludociel enters the fight, and it seems that Montspiet and Derriere, they're trying their best, but it just seems that it's not enough, because they're both being just overwhelmed by Ludociel's actual battle reflexes. Is superb. You could say quick wit in the battlefield itself. He's no easy pickets. Like I said, the goddess members are no easy pickets. But it seems that now the 10 Commandments, they actually did something that we we never even knew that was coming across, and that is this Endura form that Nakaba Sensei have actually introduced us, and we don't know what the heck, why didn't the 10 Commandments use it in in the previous past arcs, but that's because of the fact that there's not necessarily strong characters for them to really invoke this type of transformation. So now that we're looking at this in the past arc, it makes sense that these guys, the 10 Commandments, are going to be using this taboo technique, this Endura transformation. And I was looking to see if this, if Nakaba Sensei did a wordplay with this actual, you could say, transformation and in duration. If I remember correctly, if it's a scientific term, I believe it's something to do with the muscle cells, like an inflammation of the muscle cells, if I remember correctly. Let me know down in the comments below if you guys, like I said, if you guys find something else. But I know it's something to do with the muscle cells itself, and I could see the resemblance due to that actual reasoning, because of the way that Montspiet and Derriere actually had a very vividly out of body transformation. Because of what they do is they sacrifice 6 out of their 7 hearts of the demon clan members, and what they do, they invoke the power that they're basically borrowing from this demons from, I'm assuming, hell itself. And right there and then you see Montspiet, he turns into this giant 8-armed creature. Derriere loses an arm, if I remember correctly, but gains a crab-like appendix of some sort, and a spiked tail or the protrusion from her back. It's just interesting to see how this chain of events is actually unfolding. But now we're moving on to chapter 207, where they're actually fighting Ludociel, and we're looking at this, and it's entertaining because Ludociel now is being demolished, and as well as Sariel and Tarmiel. These both characters are now, like I said, they were introduced as very powerful creatures, powerful members. Now they're being overwhelmed by the 10 Commandments because of this taboo technique that we're witnessing right now. And Galan himself actually feared it, and Fraudulent. They feared this technique because apparently it seems that this taboo technique, this Endura form, is actually you could say a berserk form, it's a last resort. This taboo form, you lose all sense of reasoning, so it makes sense why Galan and Fraudulent want to escape from the battlefield itself. But the thing that I'm kind of curious is that this Endura form, how long does it last? How long does the power? Will they be able to revert themselves? But we all know that the 10 Commandments seem fine in the previous arcs. So it goes on to say that Montspiet and Derriere are going to be okay, but just goes on to say how long can they keep this charade going? That's the thing that I'm kind of curious right now. And also, what the heck, Jesus H. Christ. Chapter 207, folks. Jesus H. Christ. This chapter, we looked at Elizabeth. Remember, Elizabeth was knocked out in the previous chapters by Derriere because, she got in the way, and then the whole fight started. Now it seems that Elizabeth is now entering the fray, and she's not holding back. She's putting her foot down because she's saying that she wants to end this war. She's trying to end this war just for MacLeod, because she's tired of seeing this bloodshed going on. So by, you know, taking care of the 10 Commandments, maybe she can end this bloodshed itself. But she's going through it with not necessarily an ignorant look. It's just that she's still living in a blissful, you could say, box through her eyes. And the reason I say box, Jesus Christ, is because the way that the holy angels are actually keeping her in that little tiny box that they're trying to keep her in. You know, she's not necessarily ignorant. She's just she's living in a little blissful life. And, you know, of course, this is war times. So Elizabeth, now we're gonna see now her actual overwhelming anger. And I'm wondering if her magic or her powers is gonna invoke the Endura form to actually return Daria Monspiet to normal form, you could kind of say. And that's the thing that's I'm kind of interested, because remember, guys, these guys have no sense of reasoning. So it goes along to say that Elizabeth, what is she gonna do in order to cause this? And also, we don't even know what Elizabeth's powers are. And it's funny too, because of the fact that Ludociel was really gonna be attacking what's called Monspiet and Derriere in the name of the 4 Holy Archangels, but it just seems that Elizabeth stepped in and she's gonna be representing them. So it goes along to say, like, Jesus Christ, Elizabeth is going to be a trump card in this arc itself. Like, I can't wait to see what Elizabeth's going to do. But she might possibly die. I'm theorizing she might possibly, because remember, guys, if I remember correctly, MacLeod was talking to not Elizabeth herself, but Liz in her next life as like a redheaded woman. So it goes on to say, like, maybe she might die. So keep that in mind, folks. I'm not saying she will. I'm saying she might, because we don't know that for sure. We don't know when the Macabre Sensei might throw at us. But like I said, it's entertaining seeing how these chapters are going. But let me know down in the comments below, folks, as to what are you guys' thoughts on the chapter itself. What are you guys' thoughts on Gowther? Gowther himself, like I said, is a major trump card itself. There's a lot of trump cards that are going to be thrown out. Samriel and Tarmiel, no, they're just to emphasize the fact that Goddess Kindness is very powerful, but I don't really see them as doing anything else important now, because they already played their role in the chapter arcs itself. Now, Ludociel, on the other hand, yes. Let me know down in the comments below as to what you guys' thoughts on Ludociel. It's going to be happening with him now. That's what we're all actually curious, because Ludociel seems to be the one orchestrating everything that's been going around. And also, like I said, with Gowther, like, let's step it back without Gowther himself. What are you guys' thoughts on Gowther, as if he really is going to turn the tide to the war in this arc itself? Do you guys think that he's gonna talk to MacLeod and say, you know what, I've been the spy inside the 10 Commandments? We don't, like I said, we don't know what Gowther's past itself, or we don't know if Gowther is the doll still in the 10 Commandments, or if this is his human form. Like I said, let me know down in the comments below. And also, guys, let me know what you guys think of Sariel and Tarmiel. What do you guys think of these guys' characters? You know, did you guys find these characters entertaining? I personally did find them entertaining. I felt like they were representing, I believe it was Buddhism, and one it was Christianity. And I believe Ludociel was I think he's supposed to represent, I believe, Christianity as well. Like, it's interesting seeing these 4 archangels. It's hilarious. But like I said, let me know down in the comments below, guys. And as always, guys, if you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to give a like, comment, share, and subscribe for more Nanatsu no Taizai chapter discussions. And as always, guys, hope you guys are having a wonderful day. But this is Mr. Zen, signing out.